Okay, it's time for Space Marine 2. This is the latest game by Saber Interactive. Warhammer 40K Space Marine 2. This is a sequel for Space Marine 1 when you play as a bioengineered superhuman soldier for the Imperium's regime, killing and slashing and hacking. I was gonna say demons, but aliens. The one to invade Earth. But this is I never played Space Marine, to be honest. I just like watched the recap on YouTube, and this game seems pretty good. I mean, let me just go through the graphics. There's a skip intro button. I think this is just the intro that I can skip it if I'm familiar with the game, but I'm not. So this is DLSS on native, which is DLAA. These days most games they come with DLAA as native resolution instead of TAA, which is better. But you know, DLSS on quality looks the same as you know. It used to look better than native resolution because it had DLAA, but now it looks basically the same as 4K resolution native. And this is my optimized graphical settings. I put these two settings at default because you can see there's not much difference between the high and default, and there's a big penalty in like if you go to high. So it's like 9% between them, and then there's like an 8% with this. You can go like ultra in details. There's some tessellation to it, but it's like better on high because there's not much of a difference between high and ultra, but there's a big difference between low and medium and high. Low and medium, they just look flat, and this is like another 5% or something like that performance. I think together I calculate like 24% on the 4090. This GPU on the 4090 was like 24% or 25% uplift just by using these graphics instead of like using high settings. So I'm gonna keep this in all my GPUs, and I'm just gonna be changing resolution, which is because this is the most optimized settings for it. And you can also go like very low or something like that if you want. Here now using DLSS on quality, bump things from 40s to high 60s and low 60s. It depends like what I'm looking at. And this game does not look really realistic. It just like looks like a game. It does not look cartoonish like. It has like these aspects of like Ratchet and Clank kind of graphics, but it's not really all the way there. So it's in between. And this is like made by the Swarm engine. That's why you see no stuttering, because this is not Unreal Engine 5. And hey, hello. It's right now it's using 5.5 gigabytes of VRAM. So these days games, they know that people have only 8 gigabytes of VRAM in their GPUs, like 3060 Ti, 3070 and stuff like that, 3080, 3070. They just like have 8 gigabytes of GPU VRAM. So seeing developers, you know, respect that boundary, you know, it's really good, to be honest with you. And now it's increasing to 5.9, which is encroaching on 6 gigabytes of VRAM, which is not bad, still not bad. This GPU has 10 gigabytes, and as long as it doesn't go beyond 8 gigabytes, then that's really good. The RAM is going like 8.5 gigabytes of RAM, but that's just RAM. It's not really a problem because most people have like 16 gigabytes of RAM because it's cheap. You can get like 32 gigabytes of RAM for like $70 or something like in the US right here. Okay, now with DLSS on performance, bump things from 60s to high 70s and 80s sometimes. And even you see like even in the action and all the blood and effects that are generated in the game, it's not really affecting performance that much. It's really playable. Let me just reset the 100% lows. So yeah, the 100% lows are not very far behind. As you can see, like the time graph is not that bad. It's like it's smooth. It's not really stuttering or anything. There's like one spike you can see. There's one spike, and that's all. Like that's basically all. Like a long time now. I can dodge and I can lock. Okay, sure. I'm gonna dodge on the red ones, and then parry the blue ones. Is this guy supposed to be a boss or something? Because I'm beating his ass. And with DLSS on performance, it's using like 5.7 gigabytes of VRAM, so it dropped from like 5.9, which was going to go like close to 6 gigabytes, but it's dropped down from that. And this GPU is like really like not VRAM, doesn't have the VRAM problem, you know what I mean? It has 10 gigabytes. Sure, 10 gigabytes is not much. 12 gigabytes is supposed to be now the median VRAM income. I don't know. 10 gigabytes is still enough, to be honest, to play like 4K without any DLSS. It's just like developers have to respect that most people don't have 16 gigabyte VRAM GPUs. Okay, now the game is 1440p. There's no frame generation or anything like that, so I'm not going to try that. I'm going to go back to the game. It's giving me 70s right now in 1440p, which is like the same kind of performance as DLSS performance with... well, less with the DLSS performance with 4K, but it's not that less. You know what I mean? It's native DLAA with 1440p. I have to take something. I forgot. I didn't see it. It's a gun. Okay. I hear something. Aliens. Okay. My aim is still on point. And it's now still using 5 gigabyte and a half of VRAM. Is not really dropped that much. Dropped like by 100 megabyte or 200 megabytes of VRAM. But it's not that bad. I mean, as you can see, like more people have like 6 gigabyte GPUs and 8 gigabyte GPUs. So this is gonna be fine. As long as it does not really the game bottleneck my GPU, because I know that my CPU is not gonna bottleneck my GPU, but the game might have another plan in mind. I can't drop from here. Okay, now with DLSS on quality with 1440p, it's actually going beyond 100 FPS. It feels much smoother actually, because you know, the more FPS you get, the more wins you get. Nvidia said that. Yeah, it's feeling like a lot more smoother. Even though like 90 FPS and 80 FPS are smooth, and 60 FPS is smooth enough. This feels a lot better, to be honest. Like beyond 100 FPS feels a lot better. It doesn't feel jittery or anything, to be honest. Like 60 FPS these days, it's like, it's enough to play, you know, games like these, slow-paced games, but it's really feels like a little bit jittery. It doesn't have that smoothness of 120 FPS. That's why the consoles are chasing the 120 FPS wars and stuff like that. And as you can see now with DLSS on quality, it's still using 5.6 gigabytes, so it's not gonna drop from that probably, unless I drop textures or something like that. But that's not gonna help me FPS wise. I mean, if you don't have the VRAM, then sure you can drop it to like medium or like low textures, but that like has literally no effect on FPS, on performance. I tried to do like textures on low and like textures on high. They have basically the same FPS, probably 2 or like 1 FPS different than high. But yeah, I'm gonna keep it on ultra because I have the VRAM for it. If you don't have it, you can put it on medium or something like that. It is gonna drop the VRAM usage, but it's not gonna drop the it's not gonna increase the performance that much, if at all. Okay, now with DLSS on performance 1440p, I'm getting 145, 150 FPS. It depends on where I'm looking. Now it's dropping to 135. Can I just shoot these guys from here? Yeah, sure, I can shoot them from here. Oh, I can shoot their projectiles as well. Like their guns are inferior, huh? I can shoot their bullets with my bullets, like John Wick style, or like Matrix style, not John Wick. And as you can see, even though I'm using DLSS on performance, it's still using 5.6 gigabyte of VRAM. It's not gonna drop. And the RAM is just increased a little bit, 8.8 instead of 8.4 from where I started. But yeah, the RAM is not really that much of an issue. RAM is cheap, you can buy it. VRAM is not... VRAM is cheap, but you can't buy it. VRAM is like 1 gigabyte for like $1 or $2 of like Hynix VRAM. And they just don't want to include more VRAM. They can include it, but they're gonna charge you 100 more for it, for like the price that they spend. $20, they're gonna charge you $100, like with the 4060 Ti and the 4060. And as you can see, they they put 16 gigabytes, 8 more, which is like 24 gigabyte, $24 of the VRAM. But instead of just charging up like 50 for it, they charged $100 more, which is not good. I mean, he's hitting me the same time I'm hitting him. Like, what stupidity is that? How can that be? When I hit him, he's able to hit me. When he hits me back, I'm just stunned and like I cannot hit him back. I can just like kill this guy with this. Oh, what just happened? Where my character is? What the fuck? Where was he at? This guy has the whip. I'm just gonna keep shooting him from behind, like not from behind, but like shooting him from far away. Gonna execute him and be done with him. Okay, done. So as you can see, like even like now, it's still not dropping from 100, but it's not 150 that it was before. And the VRAM just increased like from 5.6 to like 6 gigabytes of VRAM right now, so it's not really that good. That's not good. I mean, well, it makes sense because the more character you have on screen, the more VRAM is gonna be consumed. But yeah, this is how it is. And there's another guy for me. Like, what the fuck are you guys doing here? Oh, I still have no more bullets. Shit. Just gonna have to resort to just gonna have to run away. Oh shit. Probably gonna die. Yep, I died. Okay, now after I died, this is 1080p, but now I have more bullets and I have my full health, so they're not gonna kill me this time. I just have not to be I just have to be cautious. Not to be cautious, but I just have to be cautious from this guy. This has the swords. Okay, got it. And these guys are swarming me right now. Die, goddamn idiot. Alright, so 1080p is giving me 110 FPS on native 1080p. 115. It's really good. It's really nice to see. It's the same kind of performance as the DLSS on quality with 1440p, but it's 1080p. Yeah, which looks much worse actually in my screen. It really looks pixelated, but probably on your screen is gonna look just fine because I have a 48-inch screen, and 1080p does not really look good on 48-inch kind of size. So yeah, probably it's just my screen that'll make it look bad, but on like 32 or like 27-inch screen or 24-inch screen is gonna look just fine. With even with DLSS, you use DLSS on 1080p, it's gonna look just fine because as long as it's your native resolution, it's not gonna look bad if you use DLSS on quality. Okay, now using DLSS on quality with a 1080p, this is the bottlenecking territory. I think it does not use as much cores as I have on my PC, but that's not, I mean, that's fine as long as it's like on 1080p. It's not really actually bottlenecking anything. On 4K or 1440p, that's good. So yeah, it did not really increase my performance. It's just like dropped the GPU utilization rate to like 80s and low 90s, so it's not really giving me much more performance on 1080p DLSS on quality. But hey, I mean, if I have 140 FPS, what could I ask more? Oh, I didn't even see these guys. Get the hell away from me. Just dodge until I reload. Okay, is there any ammo here? Alright. So I cannot. I don't think that I cannot go from here.
To delay the Trident invasion.
All right. I think I'm gonna try this game on another GPU. I think the 3090 Ti or like the 4090 Ti. 4090, not Ti. There is no 4090 Ti. Or the 4080 Super next. Probably one of them is gonna be next. I just have to decide which one I'm gonna plop in the computer next. So yeah, I'm gonna see you in the next one. Ciao.